Hello, folks. We are here at a memorial for the massacre in Paris. We're about a block from Bataclan, which is about as close as you can get to Bataclan. That's the theater that was Jewish-owned and had a lot of Jewish speakers and was a target for Islam for a long time. They actually have videos of them being threatened. A very exacted attack. And what a few people are recognizing is this was an exacted attack at hipsters. Believe it or not. We're here at the 10th and 11th arrondissement, which is sort of like the Williamsburg or the Cabbagetown or the Lower East Side, or, you know, every city has its sort of hipster area where the young creatives are, and they tend to be sort of on the outskirts of gentrification, and that area tends to be relatively multicultural. It tends to have a lot of moderate Muslims, and I think they attacked this area because they were hoping to polarize that community. They didn't attack the West End, right? Every West End in every city is the posh end. They didn't attack that. They didn't attack the Champs-Élysées. They didn't attack tourists. They focused their attack, these young 20-somethings, these terrorists, attacked their own kind, their own demo, their own age group. And they said, we're going to blow them up and incite terror here. And I believe that their impetus was, let's get the white hipsters to become radical right-wingers, and let's get the moderates to become ISIS. Sounds good to me. I agree with you. I'm on the same page as ISIS. I'm a jihadist. You say you want to fight. You say you want a war, as President Hollande put it, on dans une guerre. Yes, we are in a guerre. And I would love to fight you. I would love to extinguish your flame. Unfortunately, Paris didn't take the bait. And we've been talking to Muslims. We've been talking to millennials. We've been talking to hipsters. We've been talking to the people who are leaving these flowers. Look at this. It's a flag of Jim Morrison. What the hell has that got to do with anything? All they are saying here is give peace a chance. They get attacked, and I'm at the point where I'm feeling sympathetic for the jihadists. They didn't want this. They didn't want a massive pile of flowers. They wanted a war. And the Parisians we speak to while we're here are encumbered with capitulation. All they do is blame America, they blame Jews, they blame the Crusades. They blame everything but the Muslims who attacked Paris. And I'm beginning to think they can't handle the truth. You know, I've had conspiracy theorists on my own show, and I've spoken to these guys who say people don't shoot up schools, right? They say Sandy Hook never happened. And I think it's because they can't digest the fact that Sandy Hook happened. And we saw this with the 9/11 truthers. That couldn't have been so. That couldn't have been Muslims. It was pyrotechnics in the beams of the building. That's what really happened. And we're seeing this all over Paris. There's excuse after excuse about what happened. And there's zero culpability when it comes to Islam and Muslims. And it's literally at the point where the jihadists and ISIS are becoming frustrated because we're so weak. The West is so eager to kowtow to abuse that the bullies aren't getting the satisfaction of having the nerd cry. They're wedging a nerd, and he's saying, yeah, well, I had it coming. Whatever. For example, not one person we've spoken to, from the far right to the far left, to every Muslim who blames the Jews, not one of them has ever said, what if we were armed? We would have been able to shoot back. This has not come up once. And that is because guns in Paris have been scrubbed from the debate. Not one person in Paris wants a fucking gun. It's not open to debate. And I think the gun debate is a perfect example of how different North America, Canada and America, has gotten from France. Guns are not open. They're not part of this question. The other thing that deeply disturbs me is how eager everyone is to forget. This whole incident is treated like a train crash. 138, whatever the number is now, were killed in an unfortunate collision of ideals where an Israeli train made by Americans crashed and killed a bunch of people. And we're putting up flowers. We're coming by. Some guy's kicking out beer cans. He doesn't want the beer cans to get too close to the candles. There was another guy I just saw right before we started this video who was saying to his friend, c'est pas bon. Oui, c'est pas bon. Oui, it's not good. It's time for irrational hatred. It's time for vehement patriotism. It's time for France and the entire Western world to be nationalistic. When we had World War II, we put Germans and Japanese in internment camps. Mickey Mouse was fighting the Nazis. Superman comics were fighting the Nazis. Everyone was on the same page. Today, we keep talking about how it's not all Nazis and some Germans are sweet people. That is so far to the left that it's actually thwarting ISIS in a weird and bizarre way because they want us to get mad. It's like the war's already been won by Islam. So, I would like to say my experience over the past few days in Paris has been profoundly depressing. There is no fight left in this city. There is no fight left in these people. The fact that they see Marine Le Pen and people like La Génération Identitaire, the fact that they see those as radicals shows how bad things are. I thank the Lord that the working class will be electing a far-right president next, because this city needs a slap in the face, and murdering them isn't helping.